Well, now that we've learned all of these rules, let's apply them. Do a bit more complicated items here. This is probably going to be more like what you're going to see in your homework. So let's see here. Simplify each expression. So what we're going to do first is, again, exponents in parentheses. So that's going to be our order of operations. So I'm going to distribute that exponent into all my items in the parentheses. So I'm going to get 3 to the 4th as my computer jumps around again, because it just likes doing that. So 3 to the 4th times x to the 2 times 4, y to the 4, because that's the same thing as y to the 1, so 1 times 4 is 4. Continuing on to the next one, we get 2 to the 3, 2 cubed, x cubed, y to the 2 times 3. 3 to the 4th is 81. X to the 2 times 4 is x to the 8th, y to the 4th. 2 to the 3rd is 8, x to the 3rd, y to the 2 times 3 is y to the 6th. Now let's combine our like terms. I'm going to need my calculator for this one. So 81 times 8. No, that's x to the 4th times 8, not 48. So do 81 times 8. 89. Nope, that's 81 plus 8. Don't make that mistake. So 729. Nope, because I typed that in wrong. Common mistakes. You should watch out for yourself, because obviously your teacher makes them sometimes too. All right, 81 times 8 is 648. Combine our x terms. We have x to the 8th, x to the 3rd. 8 plus 3 is x to the 11th. Y to the 4th, y to the 6th. 4 plus 6 is y to the 10th. You thought that was fun. Let's just keep going. All right. Again, the first thing we're going to want to do is the exponent power rule. So x to the 3 times 4 is x to the 12th. Negative 2 times 5 is x to the negative 10. Over x to the 6 times 5 is x to the 30th. So you can bring this x to the 10th down now, or you can just subtract it from the 12. I'm just going to subtract it from the 12 because it just seems simpler to me. So we have x squared over x to the 30th. Now again, remember, you're not dividing exponents here, you're subtracting them. So take 2x's off the top, 2x's off the bottom. We get 1 over x to the 28th. Last one, and it looks like it's going to be the most exciting one. I am going to start it up here because I think we're going to need a lot of room. So, again, distribute your exponents first. We have 2 squared, x squared. Y to the 2 times 2 is y to the 4th, over x cubed squared is x to the 6th. Y to the negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. So that's one parentheses. Now we have this one to the negative 1 power. So instead of distributing this negative, I'm just going to flip it using our rule for negative exponents. I'm going to put the denominator on the top and the numerator on the bottom. So we have x to the 3rd on top, y to the negative 1, over 12x y to the 3rd. So the next thing I'm going to do is get rid of my negative exponents. So I am Also just going to evaluate my constants. 2 squared is 4. X squared, y to the 4th, x cubed, over, wait a minute, we got a negative exponent in the bottom. That has to go on the top too. So that's going to be a y to the 4th. 2y to the 4ths on top. Now what's on the bottom? We have x to the 6th, 12, x, y to the 3rd, and then we have a y to the negative 1 on top, so that's going to go on the bottom. Now that we don't have any negative exponents anymore, I am going to try to make sense of this craziness. So on top, we have one constant, it's 4. Generally speaking, it's best to put your constants or your numbers in the front, on the very left. Then you can work on your variables. So I have x squared, x to the 3rd. They are being multiplied together, so I have to add their exponents. That's going to be x to the 5th, y to the 4th times y to the 4th. So that's going to be y to the 8th. 4 plus 4 is 8. Over. Now I have a 12. I want to put that 12 out front. I have x's. I just happen to like doing these in alphabetical order. There's no law stating that you have to, but a lot of people do it that way. So we have x to the 6th times x to the 1, and we have x to the 7th. Then we have our y's, a y to the 3rd, and a y, they'll give us y to the 4th. But wait, we're not done yet. We still have stuff to simplify. Let's start by simplifying our constant. 4 goes into 12 3 times, so that's going to leave us a 1 on top, which will be invisible, and a 3 on the bottom. We have x to the 5th over x to the 7th, so that's going to leave an invisible 1 on top and an x squared on the bottom. Y to the 8th over y to the 4th, they'll give us y to the 4th on top and an invisible 1 on the bottom, and that is finally our answer. So I'm sure you're going to have a load of fun working on problem 21. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.